I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But being this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off, you've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Movies that almost starred John Wayne. One of the most iconic movie stars of the 20th century. Strangely, his career is peppered with missed chances. The Duke had numerous memorable roles across his impressive career. However, his character and beliefs that allowed Wayne to relate with audiences also led him to turn down some memorable roles in cinema history. Today, let's take a look at roles he almost starred in. If you enjoy this video, hit the subscribe button to get my new videos. To check out my many other videos, head to my channel and check out my Facebook page as well. The links are in the description. Like, share and subscribe. You know the drill. Click, click, click. Let's get into it. All the King's Men, 1949. The tale of a corrupt politician's rise, then fall. Wayne was offered the role of politician Willie Stark. Wayne turned down the character for being unpatriotic. In a letter to his agent, who sent Wayne the script, the Duke said the film smears the machinery of government for no purpose of humour or enlightenment. The role went to Broderick Crawford, who would win the 1949 Oscar for Best Actor, beating out John Wayne in The Sands of Iwo Jima.
I'm going to stay in this race. I'm on my own and I'm out for blood.
Jack Burton, Willie Stark's hatchet man. I asked you, how did you find out?
You know, Judge, dirt's a funny thing. Some of it rubs off on
The Gunfighter, 1950. This acclaimed classic western follows a haunted gunslinger who seeks out his estranged wife in a small town, only to find violence around every corner. The role of the titular gunfighter, Jimmy Ringo, was written with John Wayne in mind, but Wayne's attachment fell apart when rights to the film were purchased by Columbia Pictures, with whose president Wayne had an ongoing feud. Ironically, the script would eventually be released from Columbia Pictures, purchased by 20th Century Fox, where Gregory Peck was cast in the lead. John Wayne's last film, The Shootist, shares several thematic and narrative elements with The Gunfighter. High Noon, 1952. High Noon's tense, real-time drama follows the town marshal's increasingly desperate pleas for help fighting the gang of killers who have promised to shoot him dead at noon. John Wayne was initially offered the leading role of Marshal Will Kane, but turned it down with a vicious, familiar rebuke, calling it the most un-American thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Now considered one of the greatest westerns of all time, High Noon won its eventual star, Gary Cooper, an Oscar. Cooper, unable to attend, asked Wayne to accept the award on his behalf.
A terror-stricken town left him to face 4 killers, single-handed. And with every swing of the pendulum, with every second, a man's life ticked away. Never have so few moments held such excitement.
Miller!
What kind of woman are you? How can you leave him like this? Does the sound of the guns frighten you that much?
Dr. Strangelove, 1964. In Stanley Kubrick's satirical Cold War masterpiece, Dr. Strangelove, the part of B-52 bomber pilot, Major T.J. King Kong, responsible for the iconic visual in which a man straddles an atomic bomb, waving his hat as it sails into Russian territory, was initially offered to John Wayne. Screenwriter Terry Sutherland initially wrote the part with John Wayne in mind, But when Kubrick reached out to the Duke, he never heard back. Wayne was already committed to 3 films in 1963 to 64. And Kubrick, who was not yet the universally acclaimed director, was apparently not worth Wayne's time. The part of Kong would eventually go to another Western actor, Slim Pickens.
Turns out to be half as important as I figured it just might be. I'd say that you're all in line for some important promotions and personal citations when this thing's over with.
The Dirty Dozen, 1967. This World War II film sees an army major charged with leading a group of convicted murderers on a suicide mission ahead of the Normandy landings. The starring role of Major John Reisman was offered to John Wayne. Wayne objected to the character being an adulterer, so that section of the script was removed. However, the Duke still passed, likely due to the film's shooting dates running too close to the due date of his pregnant wife, Pilar. Lee Marvin played Major Reisman, and Wayne starred in another war picture, the extremely financially successful The Green Berets.
This war was not started for your private gratification, and you can be damn sure that this army isn't being run for your personal convenience either.
Dasher Breed. There were officers like Breed, says Ryan, who could never suffer the rules broken. He's crawling with hate.
Dirty Harry, 1971. The title role of the gritty San Francisco cop, Harry Callahan, in Dirty Harry, was initially offered to Frank Sinatra, who passed. Wayne was then offered the role, but also refused, because he didn't wish to take a part that Sinatra had turned down. However, the film's eventual massive success, with star Clint Eastwood, caused Wayne to regret his decision, with the Duke even telling his biographer, "I made a mistake with that one." Wayne's regret would push him to star in 2 Dirty Harry rip-offs in subsequent years, without much success.
But being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off, you've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Blazing Saddles, 1974, widely considered the greatest Western comedy of all time. Blazing Saddles, story of a black sheriff hired to run a racist frontier town, was miles ahead of its time. The crude, subversive, self-aware film initially sought to cast John Wayne. Conflicting reports suggest that Wayne was intended for either the role of gunslinger Jim, eventually played by Gene Wilder, or for the henchman Taggart, played by Slim Pickens, who had replaced Wayne once before in Dr. Strangelove. While the Duke refused the role, he nevertheless endorsed the script, stating, "I can't be in this picture, it's too dirty, but I'll be the first in line to see it."
Sea, land, land, sea, snatch.
1941, 1979. When Steven Spielberg was making the war comedy, 1941, about a mass of hysterical Californians preparing for a Japanese invasion following Pearl Harbor, the director personally approached John Wayne for the part of the gentle-hearted General Stilwell. However, the day after receiving the script, Wayne reportedly phoned Spielberg, urging him not to make the film. Wayne called the film un-American and told Spielberg, "Don't joke about World War II." Spielberg went on to make the film, casting Wayne's high and mighty co-star, Robert Stack, in the role. Yet, Wayne may have had a point. 1941 was poorly reviewed and is now considered one of Spielberg's worst movies. Heaven's Gate, 1980. Wayne was originally offered the lead role of Sheriff James Averill in Heaven's Gate, which would eventually go to the much younger Chris Christopherson. The film is loosely based on the Johnson County War, a real historical event touched upon in another John Wayne film, Chisholm. Whatever Wayne's reasons for refusing the role, he certainly made the right decision, with the disastrous production apparently plagued by numerous reshoots, cost overruns, and the dictatorial streak of its director, Michael Cimino. Heaven's Gate was a notorious box office disaster, sinking its studio, United Artists, and considered a fatal blow to amateur-driven studio projects in Hollywood.
That would never die.
Lonesome Dove, 1989. The miniseries Lonesome Dove began as a film script in 1972, when Last Picture Show collaborators Larry McMurtry and Peter Bogdanovich were given the green light to develop a western. The project followed a group of retired Texas Rangers on a cattle drive in the closing years of the West. Was then retitled Streets of La Toredo. It would have starred Wayne alongside two other legendary 20th century actors, James Stewart and Henry Fonda. However, Wayne turned down the role, and the film soon fell apart. Lonesome Dove was a hugely successful miniseries starring Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones, winning 7 Emmys in 1989.
What we doing way up here, Mr. Gus? This ain't our country.
Featuring an all-star cast.
You coming? I guess if you watch, you'll find out.
If you like this video, make sure you hit the subscription button so you will see all my new videos. Take a look at my channel to see my other videos. The link is in the description. Leave me a comment. Check out my Facebook page as well. I appreciate your likes, shares, and subscribers. I am Wrangler. Adios. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.